Hello, I'm Sam Sharkey, owner and MD of Temperature Monitor Solutions Africa. As we continue to navigate the choppy COVID waters, I recently revisited our blog of January 2018 on sustainability, and it got me thinking about how COVID has impacted on and changed our view of this issue. Moving into August, Women's Month, it is clearer now more than ever that in building a more sustainable world requires us to revisit and refocus our attentions on gender equality. In this blog, we look at how the pandemic has impacted women and why gender equality supports sustainability. In that blog 2.5 years ago, we looked at the United Nations Global Compact, as well as the Sustainable Development Goals, and what these meant for businesses around the world. The UN Global Compact is the world's largest corporate, non-binding sustainability pact, representing over 12,000 signatories from nearly every industry sector and size, from 160 countries. They all committed to operating in ways that, at a minimum, met fundamental responsibilities in the areas of human rights, labor, environment, and anti-corruption. Incorporating the 10 principles of the UN Global Compact into strategies, policies, and procedures, businesses establish a culture of integrity, not only upholding their basic responsibilities to people and planet, but also setting the stage for long-term success. Following from the UN Global Compact came the 17 Sustainable Development Goals in 2015, which were adopted by 193 member states in order to achieve a better future for all, laying out a path over the next 15 years to end extreme poverty, fight inequality and injustice, and to protect our planet. The devastation caused by COVID-19 highlights many aspects of both the Global Compact and the Sustainable Development Goals in ways that are simply impossible to deny. The number of unemployed has increased dramatically, which brings with it hunger and malnutrition. Gender-based violence has increased even more, and quality education hangs in the balance. With regards to gender equality, two pertinent questions come to mind. How do crises and economic downturns impact women? And how does gender equality and women's empowerment support sustainability and resilience? Whatever the type of crisis, be it war, famine, pandemics, or recessions, it is the vulnerable in our society who suffer the most: the elderly, the poor, the sick, and the young. According to the HSRC report published 3 months ago, Doctors Lynch and Teagle stated that the COVID-19 pandemic is exacerbating many of the factors that lead to increasing the risk for interpersonal violence, and in particular, intimate partner violence. Reports from around the world concurred with these findings and found that gender-based violence increased during lockdown, with women being unable to escape from their perpetrators. In addition to the lockdown intimate partner violence, the loss of employment in many cases starts a vicious cycle which too ends up in an increase in the likelihood of exposure to violence. Other factors negatively affecting women during a crisis, and which we have experienced during this pandemic, are with the closure of schools, employment opportunities might be lost, never to be regained. Women are expected to care for sick members of their family, thus increasing their exposure to illness. A disruption of access to other health services, particularly sexual and reproductive health services, is evident. Women will be the first to reduce their intake of food in favor of their spouse or children, thereby increasing their health risks. And women are more likely to sell sex in order to survive, and thereby exposing themselves to even greater risks such as disease, violence, and trafficking. There is clear evidence that investing in women creates cohesion in society and positively impacts on the poorest and most vulnerable. But the COVID-19 pandemic has highlighted that without taking into account how we are going to protect our women, the gender equality element of the Sustainable Development Goals and the human rights of women in the Global Compact become just lofty and fictitious goals. Let us think on these things as we continue to navigate these choppy COVID waters.